Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. The day that we have been waiting for is finally here. The 1.6 update has come to console, and since I only play on Switch, this is my first opportunity to play it. So I'm going to be taking you through a speedrun of the entire first year, starting with spring. I do feel like maybe there are some small changes to the opening cutscene, but same old, Grandpa leaves a letter, which you find when you most need it in your terrible corporate job, inviting you to basically come and live on his farm. When you get there, so I chose the Meadowland farm, which is a brand new farm in the new update. And when you get there, it is a little bit different. Obviously the house looks a little bit different, but you also get hay on arrival when you choose this farm. And 2 chickens are already there and a coop, which is fantastic. So chickens rather than parsnips, and also there's some bluegrass outside. I spent my first morning clearing things up. I'm obsessive about this. I spend so much energy on this, so I have to make like a lot of energy bars to do it. Then I decided to go into town and buy some seeds. I got, obviously, parsnip seeds, which I planted, and then basically for the rest of the afternoon, I was just kind of chopping away at things, planting seeds, and introducing myself to as many people as I could find around town. I used my last drops of energy to just get as much of the kind of underbrush and grass and stuff gone just on the pathways that I needed, because I will be saving this for when I've got a silo, and then watered the last of my plants. Day 2 was pretty eventful because I got my letter from Willie. So as soon as I'd finished my kind of daily chores on the farm, mostly watering plants. You spend most of your time watering plants in this game. I hopped on over to the beach to meet with Willie for the first time. He obviously showed me how to fish. I do not enjoy fishing in early game. I find it really difficult, but in the interest of completing that community centre, I did spend most of the afternoon fishing. I then went over to Pierre's because it was Tuesday, so I managed to hit a lot of chit chat with the girls. And when I got back to the farm, when I was tidying up some trees, I discovered this little sign: you've got some new ideas to sleep on. I don't know if this is going to mean anything in the game, but we'll find out. Another thing I checked on day 2 was the calendar, and I noticed that there's now a bookseller event, and there are these 3 mystery stars on the 15th, 16th and 17th. On the 3rd, it rained all day, and so it just felt logical to fish all day. I also realised I am going to need to get that backpack soon, because I am running out of space rapidly. On the 4th, I sold all the fish that I fished for on the 3rd. On the 5th, I finally got my Jojo Mart message in the mail, and I visited the mayor at the community centre, and well, we'll see where this goes. I also finally made my way to the mines because the TV psychic said I had good luck that day, so it felt like the right thing to do. I got my first sword, I slayed some monsters, I mined a lot, and once again wished that I had a larger backpack. On the 6th, apparently the TV psychic said I had bad luck, but Clint rocks up at my door with the blueprints to a furnace, so I'm starting to think maybe a bit of a hack. Not totally putting that much faith in them anymore. On the 7th, I did my favourite thing: chopping down trees, chopping down trees, chopping down trees. It's my favourite thing. I love it so much. I also sold some eggs and was all the more pleased that we got chickens rather than parsnips on day 1. Because chickens are so hard, like it's so expensive to make the coop and we've already got them and they're paying their way. Day 8, I remembered I needed to actually go into the community centre to see that weird scroll that we can't read. So I did that. I went and read the writing that I couldn't read. And then, for the rest of the day, I fished. I fished some more. I fished until I literally passed out. I fished myself to sleep. Day 9 started off quite exciting because Rasmodius the Wizard sent me a letter inviting me to his house, so we'll get there. But in the meantime, I was trying to sell some things to Willie, and then he just left his shop in the middle of the day, and I was like, where are you going? So I decided to stalk him, and I felt really bad because he actually was going to the doctor because he'd hurt his hand, and I absolutely thought he was going for a beer in the saloon. I also planted some green beans because I think they're needed for the community centre, I'm pretty sure. Day 10, Marnie rocks up with a cat. I decided to call the cat Tabitha. She's very cute, black with green eyes. It just kind of tracked. And I finally went to the wizard's tower. Now, bear in mind, I'm new to town and I've literally never met this man before. But here I am, for some reason, drinking a green liquid that I've seen him brew out of nonsense right in front of me. So it's no wonder that I then went on some kind of ayahuasca trip within his tower the whole time. Did I tell anyone that I was visiting him? I don't know. Anyway, after this, I woke up on the outside with no memory of what happened. I went back to the community centre via giving Caroline a nice little gift because Rasmodius did tell me that I would now be able to understand the Junimo scroll. After reminding myself what I needed for the spring foraging bundle, I speed of light, slowest run possible, went back to my farm, and then I ran around absolutely everywhere trying to find a horseradish because it was the one thing that I was actually missing. I found one. Again, fast as you can. Run, run, run. No, this is the slowest pace ever. Got back and placed them in the community centre in a haphazard way that might upset some of you, but listen, I am who I am. Once I'd completed that bundle, more bundle collections, would you call them, appeared elsewhere in the community centre. Great. Fantastic. More jobs for me. Always more jobs for me. Nobody else ever contributes. I then took my reward, more seeds, and I tried to familiarise myself with some of the stuff that I needed for the other bundles. I left, but on the way home, Willie was caught by George going through the trash cans. Now, he thought this was raccoons. Did he always say raccoons? I can't remember. We had a conversation. I told Willie it was fine. Everyone kind of moved on with their lives. And then Gus caught him, and how cute. Gus actually gave him some food because we're a community, we're a town. Gus doesn't want anyone to be hungry. On the way home, I decided that I would go to the beach just to see if anything interesting had washed up. I actually found a lost book, which is great. I also went to the saloon just to say hello. I placed a nice light in my farm because I seem to be doing a lot by candlelight these days, or pitch darkness, and I watered as many plants as I could before I passed out. On day 11, I got a message from Robin saying that she was missing her axe, and I was pretty sure I knew where this axe was. So we will be finding that, but also lots of farming to do. That is where my money's coming from at the moment. Lots of farming to do. Also, the whole watering can situation on the Meadowlands farm, it is infuriating. I will show you how far away it is. There's so many things that I want to buy, like quality of life items that I would like to purchase early game, but I really feel like a well might be one of the first things. I don't need a silo yet. Really, that's not till winter. It's going to have to be fairly up there. So I went down into the woods because I was pretty sure that's where I'd seen the axe last. But I also noticed that there were spring onions. And once again, I was reminded that I do not have enough space in my backpack for everything. So I'm not sure what it was I decided that I got rid of, but I needed to get rid of something so I could collect the axe. I then went to Pierre's to sell some things, reminded myself that I absolutely cannot afford the backpack upgrade yet. And 2,000 gold, I could spend that on something else. Like potato seeds. I also do need some potatoes for the community centre bundle, but it's just a winner in terms of money, isn't it? Cauliflower's better, but I think potatoes. Now the watering can situation. On this new farm type, the water is so far away. I didn't intentionally slam those gates, but I get the frustration. The water is so far away, I can't actually water this patch of land with even 3. I think it took 4 full cans to actually do this whole thing. It is frustrating, and that's why a well is top of my wish list right now, but it's just something to consider when you are choosing your farm type. This was annoying. Although you do get the chicken coop, this is a major downside because watering the crops is already annoying, but it's just so far away. I decided to spend the rest of my day in the mines, but because I keep running out of space, I thought I would take a chest with me. I gave Robin her axe on the way. I left the chest at ground level outside the elevator doors thinking, I'm so smart, every 5 levels I'll go and offload my stuff. It took me ages to get to the next 5 levels. And again, I had to get rid of something to take the thing out of the chest. And because it took me so long, I actually passed out on the way home and I was like, no, I'm going to lose my energy. But then, thankfully, I leveled up overnight. I started off day 12 with the usual farm chores, and when I ran out of water, inevitably, I decided to go to Pierre's and sell some stuff. I also wanted to find out how much this well was really going to cost me because I was kind of at a breaking point. I went around, obviously, checked in some trash cans. If you don't do this, always do this. You never know what you might find. I found a geode, so I decided to go to Clint's and have it broken, only to find out that it was 10 stone, not worth the money at all. I sold my amethysts because I decided they were plentiful and I needed the cash. And as I was on my way up to Robin's, I noticed that the bookseller was there. This is such a cute little thing. It comes in a balloon. I mean, really? Everything was super expensive and I've got basically no money, so I didn't buy anything. But nice to know it's there, and it's a really cute little addition. each of the listings tells you what all the books do as well. So when I have, you know, a lot of disposable income, maybe. I then did make my way up to Robin's, just out of curiosity. How much is a well? Actually not that much money. So I thought I would go back to my house, see what I've got in storage that I could sell. I'd already gone back to Pierre's with some other crops, and I sold 2 more amethysts to Clint to get me up to the 1,000 gold. I already had the stone. So here we are. The well is going to be placed right next to my crops. I'm going to be so excited. Annoyingly, she's not going to get started on it straight away because there's an egg festival tomorrow, and apparently she takes those days off. But whatever. I thought I was going to finish the day watering the crops. I did water the crops. Again, ran out of water. Soon you'll have a well. But then I decided to take a little bit of respite, do something different, and go fishing. That's when I discovered I cannot fish with the Pro Controller. It's absolutely not happening at all. Day 13, Dad sent me 500 gold. He must have known I was having a bad night because I needed a bit of a pick-me-up. Clearly, she can't fish. Let's send her some money. She's not doing well. Once again, here I am. Do we need to say it? I went to the egg festival. Again, I just needed a break. I needed a break from the watering can where I bought some strawberry seeds. I thought that was probably a good thing to spend that cash on. And we'll see, but I feel like it's going to make me a little bit of... I should probably have had more money to spend on them, but it is what it is. I do like to go around and talk to everybody at these events because they're all in one place and it's just, you know, it's practical. Then I spent 50 of the most uncoordinated seconds of my life trying to get as many eggs as possible, only for the winner to be announced as Abigail. It's not that I'm not happy for her. It's just I really, really tried. When I got home, I planted all my strawberry seeds and you guessed it, watered them, only you also guessed it, ran out of water. And as a nice change of pace, I decided to actually go to bed instead of passing out and being recovered by one of the many people in the town. Day 14 kicked off with our favourite gardening. But look, Robin is here and she's making my well. I couldn't be happier. Couldn't be happier to see somebody else on my farm than Robin actually constructing the well. While I was putting away all of my produce, I realised I've got quite a few things for the bundles. So I just came and brought them over. One thing, if you are watching this and you haven't played very much in the past, that I would say that I definitely made the mistake of doing was just because you don't think you need them for the bundles, even once all the bundles have been unlocked in the community centre, still keep one of everything because there might be something in the future that you need it for. There might be another secret bundle that appears or a quest from a townie. It happens. It's happened to me. I spent the rest of the day, pretty much the rest of the day, fishing. I also reverted to filming this in clips on my actual Switch so that I could fish because I just cannot fish with the Pro Controller apparently. I also went to the travelling cart and was devastated to discover, because this was 6:30 p.m, so there's nowhere I can sell anything to get any cash. No money. Well, nowhere near enough money to buy anything that I would need. The walleye 100% I would have got. So annoying. And then I fished until I dropped, basically. That was the rest of my evening. Also, still annoyed I don't have more space in my backpack, but that's to come. On day 15, the well was built and I rejoiced. I absolutely made the most of this well. I was filling up that watering can left and right. I've never been happier. I then went to Pierre's to sell a bunch of stuff that I had to sell and was like, shall I buy? Shall I not buy? And I decided to actually save some money because there are some things that I do want to purchase. I checked the calendar because I knew there were stars on these days, but the star wasn't there anymore, so I don't know what that means. By now, the salmon berries were also available for picking, so I went around and picked all of them that I could find, and of course, as always, I gifted one to Willie. I spent the rest of my evening in the mines. Obviously killing monsters, getting resources. I really have to remind myself to come into the mines because it's so far away. I don't walk past it and it's a bit out of sight, out of mind. No, for real. I do have to remind myself to actually come and play the mines and I need to get down to level 100. There are things in these mines that will help me along my journey, especially with the community centre. I don't know if this ever happens to you, but you know, on those levels where you have to get all the bad guys for a way out to come to be, this is me trying to look for that way out, and I get up here and I'm like, is that a way out? Yes, it was. But how? Like, that seems like a really dodgy place to place the down ladder, because it was like a little bit hidden. Anyway, I did this till I passed out again, but thankfully I leveled up, and so no harm, no foul. Day 17, again, I made the most of foraging for all of the salmon berries that I can find around the town. I just find these to be really handy, especially when I'm in the mines. I just kind of keep, it's like one slot in my backpack, loads of food. It's handy, it's handy. I went and checked out the calendar and look, those stars were on 15, 16 and 17 and we got nothing. So what is that about? Is that going to be like a year 2 thing? Did I have to trigger that to happen? I don't know. I then got this new cutscene, or I think this is a new cutscene. I can't remember this. Is this a cutscene that has been in the update, or did we always have this and it just never, like, came to me? Either way, I made the wrong choice and really pissed off Haley. So I went back to foraging for more salmon berries around the valley and did some late night reorganizing of my storage chests once I got back. On the 18th, I headed straight to the community centre because I did have a couple more things to add to the bundles. I also like to go in there once every few days just to remind myself of what it is. I need to make myself a list because I can't remember what's in these bundles. I know you can see them actually now I'm thinking about it from your chests, can't you? But I kind of want a visual. I'd like a big chart, like a printed out chart. That would be great. So I did that. Then I went over to Pierre's and I got the cutscene from the Joja Mart boss, which I feel like usually happens earlier. So I think I'm not triggering these things to happen as soon as they usually would. I still haven't been into Joja Mart. I still haven't done something else that I realized later on. We'll get to that. I also did lots of gardening as per, and while I was in Pierre's, I did treat myself to the new backpack. So I finally put those gold coins that I've been saving to good use. I was so happy to have more storage on my person. After my regular chores, I went over to Wally's to sell the fish that I had, and I also went back to Pierre's to sell some crops that I had. I spent the whole day on the 20th fishing, and then I had no energy left to do my gardening. I started off the 21st strong, saying hi to the chickens and going collecting the eggs that I'd forgotten I hadn't collected. This is just money. I'm literally sitting on money right here. I delivered Jodie her cauliflower, which was a weird thing to do in church, but she'd asked for it and, you know, she was there. It was easy. I also went around town checking the trash cans and I had an absolute haul of Joja Cola. I once again went to Willie's to sell the fish that I'd caught the previous day, and then I got the cutscene for the sewers. And at this point, I realised I am yet to donate anything to the museum. Not one single item. But it was already past 4, so I spent the rest of the day chopping down trees and just kind of tidying up my farm. I also made some tappers and then just wandered around trying to find trees that I hadn't chopped down to put them on. Once I'd finished, I threw some stuff in the shipping bin and called it a night. I started day 22 strong with a parsnip harvest, which is always great. I added another large egg to the animal bundle at the community centre and once again overexerted myself. But I refueled to spend the rest of my evening fishing. Huzzah! And again, I passed out fishing, but you know, it is what it is. Day 23, again, hello boys, girls, chickens, girls. I said hello to the chickens, collected the eggs, and decided that today was the day I was going to build a silo. Then I remembered it's Tuesday and Robin's not there. So I spent the rest of my evening / afternoon / my entire day in the mines. Again, I need to spend more time in the mines. I'm only on level 27 and it's day 23 of spring. That's not fantastic. And so I just literally spent every single waking moment of that day in the mines, getting resources, killing monsters, and just trying to make a dent in those levels. I did pass out in the mines, but once again was saved by leveling up, so who cares? Day 24, I started with the best intentions. I filled up my backpack with all the things to take to the museum, only to find out that it was locked because it was the flower dance, which I hate, because nobody ever wants to dance with me, but hey ho. I chatted with people, decided I didn't want to buy anything from the shop. I asked them and they all said no, and so I watched everyone do this weird dance, apparently until bedtime because it was dark when I got home. So I did a little bit of maintenance, chopping down of trees, and then I went to bed. Day 25 started much like every other gardening, but I had quite a few potatoes to harvest, so I was, switch it up a little bit, and then I finally got on with the task at hand, getting into the places, doing the things I hadn't done. I took all my geodes to the blacksmith, I donated so many things, I reaped rewards that I will not be able to use till next spring, and then I finally went to Joja Mart. Checked out their wares, was immediately ignored by Shane and creeped out by Morris. He's just a creepy guy. As I mentioned earlier, something that's been on my list for a while is getting a silo. So I went home, smelted some bars, and went back to Robin to ask her to make one. It's going to be a very exciting time. I went to tell the chickens, Guys, it's happening. And I spent the rest of my evening watching more bars smelt. Just watching the glow of the furnace. Day 26 and I'm happy to have less to water. Even happier to see Robin working on my silo. Said hello to the chickens. Went to check out the travelling cart and bought everything that I could for the community centre, where I'm really filling this thing up right now. I really feel like I'm making progress. It was a slow start. It was a slow start to the season, but I'm making progress. Only to be destroyed by the most bats anyone has ever seen in one place. As a result, the 27th started pretty low energy. 0 energy, in fact. But the silo was built. This is my favourite thing. Chopping down all of this grass and it making hay. Making hay while the sun shines. I added to the community centre a little more, and then I spent the rest of my evening smelting bars and just wandering the farm, wondering about my life choices. And then it was the very last day of spring, the 28th. I bought everything that I could from the travelling cart that I thought could be possibly helpful, apart from the triple shot espresso, which I really wanted to buy, but felt like a waste of money. I put the oat resin in the bundle at the community centre, gifted a potato to Linus, forgot how to get out of my farm because of this silo that I wanted so much, but thankfully still made it to the mountain lake in order to get a largemouth bass, where apparently there were a frenzy of them. I decided for the rest of the day I decided to spend the rest of my day chit-chatting with the villagers to try and build a little bit of friendship. That's definitely something that I've kind of let fall by the wayside. Every time I play this game, I play it a little bit differently. My progress is slower or faster, or I complete some things faster than others. And this time around, I've definitely focused on different things. By now, usually I will have definitely tried to get more animals, but maybe because I started with animals, it wasn't a focus. I don't know. Definitely in the summertime, I'm going to focus a little bit less on crops, a little bit more on relationships. I might try to get some more animals. I definitely want to get more of the community centre chipped away at, because I'd love to get that done within the first year. But I will say I was expecting to see more changes. I'm interested to see whether or not those changes will be more apparent as we get further into the year. But for me, the way I've played the game, maybe I've not triggered some things, but the way I've played it, I haven't seen anything really different than the previous game in this update. So yeah, let me know how you found it, because you know, the way you play the game, it triggers different things. I'm excited to see what summer's going to bring, and to hear from those of you who've already played the update and maybe you've had it for a little while, what might be in store, because I haven't really watched a lot about it. I don't like all the spoilers, but you know, any hints to things that might trigger something interesting, I'm all for. Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this, don't forget to give me a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!